Hi, it's Emily and I'm schizophrenic. I realised that it had been about 7 months since my last video, and I think my last video was about medication change. But since that last video, I haven't been taking any medication except for lorazepam, like the tiny blue pills when I need it. So that's been 7 months, no medication for 7 months. But only recently I talked to my psychiatrist and we were talking about some sort of mood stabilizers instead because I've been feeling really on edge. So we decided to go back on my olanzapine, but I think it was 50 milligrams. But the first tablet I took, it made me feel so sick and I fainted about 5 times that day and had 2 panic attacks. So I decided not to take that anymore. So I'm basically not on any medication right now. But obviously I feel like I shouldn't take the medication because of I don't like the way it makes me feel. But then also I realise it stops little things from happening, like seeing things. Well, I am seeing things but not as severely as I was before, so that's why I decided there's no point for medication, especially because it makes me feel I can't think straight when I'm on them. Everything's a delayed reaction. I've got notes written down because otherwise I forget what I'm talking about. So recently, well, since I've been off my medication, I've been getting nightmares and I cannot sleep for the life of me. I'm up really late and I just cannot seem to get sleep, even if I'm lying down. I can pretend I'm asleep for about 3 hours and I just won't get to sleep. So I have talked to my psychiatrist about that, but they're not doing anything about that. That's what I wrote down. I was mainly going to talk about backtracking on my videos because obviously I couldn't remember that much back then and I was very kind of out of it. But I said a lot of bad things, I think, about the ward, the mental health ward I was on. But come to think of it now, obviously I wouldn't want to go back. I don't want to go back, but if I reach that point where I have to, obviously if it gets me better then I'd go. But I just had a terrible experience, not from the people who are around me, like the staff and stuff, more a terrible experience from myself, how bad I was. Everything just seemed like it was too much. And I didn't talk about CAMS, I don't think, or peers or the crisis team or anything. I don't think I explained it properly. But if we go all the way back to the start, so when I was about 14, I don't know, 15 maybe. So I was 15 and actually I think I was 14 and I went to college. Well, not college, because here it's called college. It's like high school sort of thing, you know, the one before college. And things were starting to get bad for me back then, and an incident happened between me and somebody else, and I wasn't allowed to go back to school, I think, for about 3 months, 2 months? I think it might have been 2 months. But during that 2 months, I was referred to CAMS, which is Child Adolescents Mental Health Services. And I had many different people. I wouldn't have the same person every time I went for some reason. And what the difficulty was trying to get them to understand what was going on, because they just wouldn't believe me, obviously, because you have no proof. And back then my family didn't believe that I was telling the truth, because I could not prove that I saw things or heard things to them, or I was feeling these strange experiences. So it took me, I was just there for ages, just telling them everything that was going through my head, not masking anything. I wasn't on medication. This was about a year. Nothing happened, no medication, no nothing, until I went to college, my art college. And during my art college, I believe I didn't eat for a while in college, and that made me very weak. And it was very stressful. It wasn't just college stress, things had happened, but I'm not going to talk about them. Things had happened that were extremely stressful. And I think stress really brings it on a lot. I think stress is the main factor of maybe why I even have this mental illness. Obviously, you don't know where it comes from, but I mean, all the way back from when I got taken out of high school was because it was exam time coming up. I think that was stress as well, that caused stress. But anyway, in college there was a lot of things going on. I told my closest friends in the college what was going on. Obviously, I didn't fully know what was going on. Nobody told me anything. I had an idea. Obviously, I would Google things. Why do I hear voices in my head? Or why am I seeing things that nobody else sees? Obviously, I kept saying obviously not. I mean, things would come up on the internet and I would just search and search, wondering what the hell this was. But when I took my overdose of paracetamol, that was it for me. I don't know if I would have gotten proper help if I didn't do that, but all I know is I did get help after that happened. I was admitted to hospital, just a normal hospital, and I stayed there for about a week. I do not remember that point at all. I imagine I was very out of it, very psychotic, very not in my own head. But I do remember a woman coming to me. She was discussing about a mental health ward, and if you say no, I don't want to go, if you don't voluntarily go, then they will section you, and that's when you go in, but not by your free will. So I agreed anyway, so they wouldn't section me. But when you get sectioned, it means that when you're in the mental health ward, that they can inject you when they like, I think, and they can hold you for however long they want to, however long they think is suitable. And if you want to leave after the end of the days they said is suitable for you, they can still hold you back if you're still under section. So when I went in, I wasn't under section anyway, but then the first few days I realised that I do not want to be in a mental health ward, although it was the right place for me. I should have definitely been there at that time. I was not very safe to myself or others, but only for that period of time. I'm safe to everyone now, but when I get bad, that seems like the only place where I am safe from myself and I can be looked after properly and get the help that I need. But Yeah, I was in this section. Oh my gosh, my mind's just gone blank. I was taken by an ambulance the first time, but I just sat in a seat. Everything was fine because I wasn't very troublesome the first time I went in. And I was there for 2 months, and I got put on my first medication and it seemed to help a little bit. And yeah, I got let out 2 months later. I don't think I should have been let out, but I was very keen to leave because I just wanted, when you're in a mental health ward, everything familiar kind of gets taken away from you. And when your family or friends or anything comes to visit, it's not for that long, it's a certain amount of time, and it's kind of limited. But pardon me. Towards the end of being in my mental health ward, you get leave, which is when you can go home for periods of time. Like, you maybe get an hour of leave, so you maybe not go home because I'm very far away from that ward. You get leave, so maybe go round the shops that are close by or go for a walk. Then 2 hours and 3 hours, and then weekends, or just days, then weekends. And then eventually they'll ask if how you've been doing at home, and everything was going well for me, so I got discharged. I got taken off my section and discharged on the same day. But they were trying to get my parents to sign some sort of paper. I haven't seen it, but they didn't sign it. It was some sort of paper that signs me over to them, so I could probably have been moved to anywhere they would have liked me to be moved, but my parents did not sign that. Then I got home. I was home for a few months. I can't remember exactly when I went back in again, but when I got back in again, it was because I was just psychotic again every day. I could not focus on anything. I was mostly just shouting and crying and just destroying a lot of things. And I was not in college, I don't think. I did try to go back to college. I went for 1 day, but then I realised I couldn't because of this stressful situation that had happened. I'm still thinking maybe about going back to college. I don't know what I'd do though. I don't want to do art because I'm quite happy with what I'm doing at home. But I'm thinking of a lot of things, like archaeology, but you have to have a lot of things to go there. So archaeology, I don't know, I've been looking at a lot of things. But I forgot what I was saying before. I was talking about college now. Oh yeah, the second time I went in, I was in hospital again, a normal hospital, for about a week again, while they were trying to find out where to put me. But that was the worst. I definitely caused them a lot of grief in the hospital. I was on a part of the hospital where the doors would shut, where you couldn't open them unless you had a card, just so then everyone in there would not be allowed to roam the hospital. And I used to go up and down the halls and just shout and repeat actions, make loud noises. And there was one time which I pressed the fire alarm in that hospital, which was awful because that's a whole hospital. But the door's unlocked. I think they managed to call someone straight away and tell them that it's not a fire. But I realised the doors I had unlocked because the fire alarm had gone off. So I kind of got out for a little bit, but obviously short-lived. I wouldn't have gone anywhere anyway because I wouldn't have known where to go because I can't remember going in the hospital. So I would not know my way around. But that time, when I got referred to a ward, it was a CAMS ward, by the way. When I got referred to, I get referred to the same ward each time. It's quite nice in there, considering how terrible people say they are. It's very nice, and they definitely do the best that they can for you in there. But the second time I went in, I was strapped to something in an ambulance and taken there. I don't know what it was I was strapped to. I don't know why they strapped me either. Maybe I was sectioned before I even... I think I was sectioned before I even went in. I don't think I got a say on it that time, because I was so kind of out of my head. Couldn't say what I wanted to say, sort of thing. When I was in there, that was just... It's just the people that are in there. I mean, the staff, very nice, but then the patients in the wards, probably the best people I've met, you can meet, because everyone just tries to help everyone. And you know how you're kind of like forced to be in there, see each other every single day of the whole time you're in there, since you wake up to when you fall asleep, and you just kind of get a connection with them, and it's nice. I still keep in touch with a few people from my stays at the ward. How long is this? 17 minutes. I don't even know what to talk about. I have so much as well, but I didn't write it down. I had to clear a few things up, actually. In a past video, I was talking about the things that I see, and I said Angel Gabriel, and then I said maybe like the one from the Bible. I didn't mean Angel Gabriel from the Bible. I don't think. It's just an angel called Gabriel, okay? I'm not religious, and I know some of you are very nice. You talk about religious things in the comments, but I'm really not religious, and I don't really intend to be. And I think to myself, I sound very clearer now, and my voice isn't as slurred, and I can speak faster since I'm not on my medication, and I can get things faster, like think things faster, get the answer to things faster. I mean, people in the comments pointed out that I couldn't count because I was trying to count the years, and I just couldn't do it. I kept doing it over again. But I can think in my mind now very quickly. Describing it would be, before, trying to think of a thought, it would get stuck, say like a spider web, and it's trying to pass through. Now it's just clear, and I can think about what I want to think. I mean, they're the good things, I guess, which has been happening since my last video. But there has actually been quite a few concerning things. For example, it seems to be at night or really early in the morning. I seem to feel very, like, disconnected from my own body, and it seems like everything is, it's very difficult to explain. I tried to explain it. It feels like there's a lot of things going around you, but you just can't hear it or see it, but it feels like a lot's going on. And then I like just kind of lose myself for like a moment, and it didn't feel very good. I do hear voices for that short period of time, and maybe see things. For example, this was just at the weekend actually. It seemed like I had I can't remember. That's the bad thing about it. I can't remember. See, if I'm on my own, I don't know if it's happened or not. It's like I felt a lot of people around me and I couldn't move. I was very rigid. And I just kind of shut down for a bit. And like, last night I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't get to sleep. Everything felt really fast. I wanted to run. I just wanted to run about. I'm not an athletic person. I just wanted to run about, do as many things as possible. I couldn't stop shaking my leg. Everything just felt, my senses felt really heightened. That's the word I was looking for last night. It felt like everything was, my eyes were sharper. Everything I could hear was more, it's kind of more blurry actually, and I couldn't speak for a while. All I could, I was on my own in my room, but all I could say was like fuh, buh, suh, like that. But I couldn't say anything. I was just, it was, that keeps happening recently. But I have explained it to my psychiatrist. I think that's why they might have put me on these mood stabilizers, which are also antipsychotic medication. But I'm not taking them. I refuse to. That made me feel terrible, fainting and just feeling absolutely pale white. No, I'd rather not if I can cope without it. As long as, what I'm saying to myself is, as long as I don't feel like I have to do with what the voices or things tell me to do, as long as I don't feel that need, even a little one, then I won't go on medication. I would just take like my little blue pill, which is lorazepam. Lorazepam? Yeah, lorazepam. And that seems to calm me down. But otherwise there's just no need in taking medication because I'll feel really bad, basically. I feel like I'm just useless because I cannot do anything. I haven't done art since 7 months ago, or I think before that, maybe 8 months ago, and I've literally only started doing it. I just lost the drive for it and I could not, I would try and draw something, it would just not look like how I wanted it to. But I've got the drive back and I'm doing a lot of art. I've got a lot of inspiration, a lot of things written down which I want to draw. For example, actually, I painted an orange. I'll show you it. It's quite big. It's very shiny too. But see, I haven't drew or painted in ages, and just it feels so good to paint again. Just to get it all out because it's been stuck in my head, but I haven't been able to do anything on the paper. I'm going to start putting a few of my paintings on my Etsy shop and try and sell them. And many of you have been asking about the line painting that was behind me. I'm on my other desk, by the way. That's why everything kind of looks different. And many of you were asking about my lion painting which was behind me, but I've recently sold it, so I'm sorry if anybody's wondering about that. Yeah, I sold that. What else? I've been going out more. I've been feeling much happier myself, much more joyful most of the time. I mean, sometimes I do. Everyone has their bad days. I have my bad days. I have my bad days quite a bit, but more good than bad. I just feel more uplifted. But the only problem is it can just change in a second and I can start feeling weird and then I just can't do anything for the rest of the day. But yeah, I just think it's mostly stress that brings it on. But I can't think of what stress has been going on recently. So I've just been sitting and thinking, what stress has been going on recently. I just can't think. Like, stress definitely is a big factor. I think I said that before, but it's definitely a big factor. If I can avoid it, I definitely would, because I don't want to get bad again. I try really hard. I'm trying my best. I don't want to be like that again. Although obviously you can't help it when I am. I'm making this video as well because I posted a thing on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, and it just said I would make a video, and thanks for all the nice messages. I said I'd make a video this month, so I'm living up to my promise. I'm making a video this month. It's been 7 months since my last video, but I honestly lost the drive to do anything. I lost the drive to do art, videos, music. I didn't even listen to music actually through this whole, I just didn't, as in I listened to it on the radio or if somebody was just playing it on the TV, but I wouldn't purposely listen to it, put my headphones on and listen to music. No point to it, I didn't think, but I've got my mojo back now. I feel great. I'll make more videos, I think. Try and find some really important subjects to talk about. And just try and spread this with everyone. As in, I don't exactly know what I'm trying to do by making these videos, but I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to make some sort of difference. I don't know what kind of difference it will be, but I want to do something. I want to try and just kind of educate people, even just a little bit, because obviously I'm no psychiatrist. All I know is that I have this mental disorder, schizophrenia, and that's all I know. I'm not certified to tell you what or what not to do, but just if you feel bad, if you feel like there is something wrong, anything, just talk about it to someone, anyone. Maybe contact your GP, talk about it, and if you're really concerned that you might have some mental illness or some big issue that is affecting your day-to-day life, please talk to someone. It's not worth leaving it until it's too late, and it's much harder to control it when it's worse than it is better. You may as well try and catch it before it gets worse. I mean, it's worth a shot. Nothing bad is going to happen from it most of the time. I mean, I know I didn't want to talk about it to anyone because I thought my friends might react differently, but really my friends just, they didn't really care. I mean, they didn't care in a bad way. They just, it's just Emily. They didn't think, she's a different person now, I cannot trust her, or I will not be friends with her because of this. They just said, it's just you, isn't it? It's just me. It's just how I am. It's how I've always been. And they just accepted it. But obviously, it might be different for different people. Yeah. So, I mean, I would try and talk to people when they reach out to me in messages. I'm sorry if you have and I have not responded. Most of the time it's because I don't know what to say. I don't know how I can help other people if sometimes I can't help myself. I think now if somebody messages me asking for advice, I might just tell them maybe to talk to someone, because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Obviously I do try and give people personal advice to them, but there's not much I can say, considering, I mean, it has been 3 years since it's gone bad, but I kind of reckon it's been unsteady my whole life. It's just these 3 years it's gotten more visible to other people that there's something wrong. So that's why it got difficult to try and, because I tried to hide it, you know, try and push everything away. There's no problem here, everything's okay. I'm just perfect sort of thing. But obviously there's a lot of things going on, and eventually you just can't keep it up forever. So if you are like denying that there is something wrong to yourself, maybe kind of think that you know that you're denying something to yourself, you know that there's something wrong and you are denying it too. So like, you're acknowledging that there's something wrong, but you're trying to hide it. But you may as well try and reach out to someone, even if you don't think they're going to be very helpful. It's very surprising what telling someone can do. It lets a lot off your chest. You may get help from it. You may get medication. You may get some wonders what it's like not bottling things up. So I feel really good recently. So I think I'm gonna make more videos. Boys, I'm not gonna leave it 7 months this time. I feel like I'm gonna make videos more regularly, as in not every week, but at least not leave people on just a blank page, because I read a lot of comments who are wondering if I'm all okay, wondering if I'm going to upload again. I'm really sorry, I just left without saying anything. I just couldn't do anything about it. I was not motivated at all. So, So yeah, I think that's it. If I do not end up posting something for, say, 7 months again, I probably will do before that. But if you're kind of interested, if I'm not posting a video, it's more likely I'm posting something on Instagram about an update instead of making a whole video about it, because I had to kind of force myself to make this video because I had like this kind of pressure on my throat sort of thing, and I just didn't know what to say, and I couldn't do it. But I guess I'm doing it now, and yeah, I don't know what else to say, so I might end the video here. I am going to end the video here actually, yeah, and I'll see you all next time, whenever that will be. I hope you all are well, and I hope the best from you. Okay, bye.